Yes, Jack, it's your turn.
It's my turn?
I've done it for 6 episodes.
I know you're the guy.
I'm
Welcome to Don't Miss This Podcast with Sammy P and Jackie D, a.k.a. DMT.
Okay, so now you blew it, pal.
I gave it a good spin.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were going to say some stupid Jackie D pun, but you were actually saying the title. I jumped the gun. That's on me.
Hey, it's okay. I understand.
AKA, what is it, Jack?
DMT. AKA DMT.
See, yeah.
With Sammy B and Jackie D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You say our full names with the full title, and then the shortened names with the shortened title. Do you see the elegance? Do you see the elegance that I go for when I introduce this show week in and week out?
That's why I trust you to do it,
see,
man.
Jack, I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to bring you under this wing.
Hey, it's okay.
So
I'm just your co-pilot. I'm just there so that people can say I'm there.
Yeah.
You know?
We're trying to start a pedigree.
Yes.
A thing for our fans to get behind.
That's fair.
Speaking of, I was just on Spreaker, which is what hosts this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's where I upload it and whatnot. And I saw that they have analytics. So I was like, ooh, I'm curious. So between this podcast and Welcome to Tuesday, there's this one has the more. We have 200 or 180 downloads.
Really?
Welcome to Tuesday has 100 downloads. But get this, only 17 plays. What? How does that work out? Are people out there just downloading it and just not listening to it?
That's how podcasts go.
Because I'm hoping that one statistic is wrong. Because I'm like, well, how do you pull from all of those things how many people listen? But at the same time, 17 for 200 and something. I mean, that's between both podcasts.
Hey man, we're hitting a nice 10% divot.
For our 177, we got a 10%er.
We're dimers.
Yeah, but there are 170 something devices out there that have Don't Miss This Podcast, and they're missing this podcast.
Yes, they are.
What is the deal?
I don't know, man. I feel like this is how most podcasts go when you're not a celebrity, you know.
Then,
and it's there's so many podcasts.
There are so many podcasts.
For me, I feel like this thing, in a year or two, it's just suddenly going to become a cult hit. People are going to go crazy for
Sleeper.
it. And we're not going to know why. It's just that they're going to listen to this episode and they're going to go, haha, it's happening. And I'm going to be like, I told you so.
Yeah. Or we're just gonna kidnap a big guest and just interview him.
Yeah.
How do you feel right now? Or is it too tight around your wrists?
Yeah. No, I was going to say.
Should we let you go? Well, we will once you answer these questions, pal.
Just 173 of them. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it'll be quick.
It's going to be the most in-depth podcast interview of. I don't know.
Here's what we should do.
Who should we target? Let's pick a target right here.
Are we going? We're going for anybody, right?
Well, anybody could get people through the door, but to get people to stay,
right.
They got to know what we're about. What we're about is comedy.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
Comedy and having our ringers on during the podcast.
I agree.
Boy, that's just you.
I don't know. I think no matter who it is, we should have them kidnapped, talking, and we should force them to take a personality test. Whilst
because that is something to get. Okay,
that we can really find out about that person.
We can just dive in, just break them down based on what the 16 personalities thing has taught us. I reread part of mine the other day, and I need the full profile. But as you remember, because I never printed it off, it gave us a limited number of downloads. And then it wouldn't let me keep downloading it. And so I was just lost. The ENFP profile that I paid $36 for is just gone after maybe 6 times of opening the thing.
Into the atmosphere.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone, you know?
That seems ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I'm ashamed, but also I'm not going to pull my plug from 16 personalities.
No, I love 16 personalities, man. I've been getting back into the whole Myers-Briggs.
You know... Yeah, because it's great for making characters. To create a character and you figure out their Myers-Briggs and stuff, you can break down just about everything else. I love doing that, and I love looking up other characters' things. Because, you and Jon Snow have the same one.
Johnny Snow's, yeah.
You and Captain America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Depends on the.
Well, yeah, some it's IN and some it's IS.
Yes. So. Just depends on what Cap we're dealing with. Are we dealing with a smart guy or dumb guy?
Well, I was thinking more of a clear thinker or emotionally clouded.
Yes.
You know,
Which
and everything fluctuates on your Myers-Briggs. However, I'm still an ENFP, even though I've been at times thinking, wow, I've been so introverted. I got to check what I'm in.
Well, it's all about, I mean, it's like not necessarily how you live, but just like where do you get your energy from, which then could be kind of an enlightening thing, because if you've been like low on energy or motivation or something like that, you know, and you're naturally an E, and you've been like kind of living an introverted lifestyle, then that's just like, oh, like go out a little bit more, talk to some new people. You know what I mean?
Okay, but it's the whole talking to new people thing that gets me, because that's exactly my problem.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking tired all the fucking time, man. I'm cranky. I slept between yesterday and today, so I slept for like 4 hours the night before, and then I slept for 7 hours after work, and then another 4 last night. You know, so that's a good, you know, more than 2 full nights worth. You know, 2 nights and 2 hours, and I'm still fucking tired, man.
I get it. I've been dealing with.
What you're saying is I got to get out there more.
You got to get out there, buddy. You got to go.
But I'm so tired, and getting out is exhausting enough.
You got to get. This is what you got to do. You got to get on Meetup. Okay, you got to meet some locals that are interested in the same things you're interested in.
How about I just go to more open mics because they're all into comedy?
That's one way to do it. I mean, hey, just got to get down there.
That's it's like the gym. The hardest part about going there is going there, because once I'm there, it's fine.
Well, and also I've come to terms with
I don't have a problem with actually getting on stage, getting my material out. It's literally getting my ass into the car, downtown, parked, paid for, which, you know, my luck ran out there.
I've been coming to terms with that. Doing open mics is very difficult because you literally have to go 30, 40 minutes downtown, pay for parking, then buy a drink, because, I mean, you don't want to be disrespectful to the place that's letting you do your thing. I mean,
after enough times, you get to be okay with some water.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also, I do get at least like 1 beer.
Yeah, exactly. Give them some patronage. You know, it's a mutual connection.
I'm not doing it for anybody but me.
That's true.
I'm not being a good person here, man. I'm there for a very selfish reason.
And they're being very selfless, allowing you to use their establishment. But no, I was thinking, you know, and then you got to pay for the drink, and then you got to wait for however many people show up to go on for 5 minutes and bomb. Which bombing's not a problem. Like,
no, it happens constantly.
There's nothing wrong with bombing. Everybody bombs. It's
just the longer you're waiting.
It's just the amount of time you have to dedicate to. It's literally like going to the gym to do a set of bench press and then going home. You know what I mean? And you just gotta do that every single day. You know,
and try and do it multiple times a day so you can get more exercise, because it is exercise.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same. It's the exact same. It's what humans are really good at, is doing something over and over and over and over again and getting really good at it.
Yeah, except your boy has never been that way.
It's hard to be at a certain point when you just constantly keep, you know, I mean, when you're in the suburbs, you're almost, you're so far from any opportunity to do it.
Right.
And it's, again, you can, but this whole, you just don't want to burn yourself out on something that's supposed to be fun. You know what I mean?
Right, because I do really enjoy doing it. It's the whole, like we're just saying, getting there.
Yes.
It drives me crazy.
And
then to get there and bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you live downtown, you just be like, fuck it. I go to mics all the time because they're so conveniently close. But, you know, what if I was taking the light rail down there, but I took it all the way down there, I walked all the way to the venue, and I bombed, and go all the way back, I would quit comedy. Like, that would be just so not worth it, because it's just like you spend 5 minutes trying to work something out, hoping that there's something there that you can go home and develop some more. But if the audience doesn't give you anything, and you're there for, you know, and then, you know, if you're bombing, it pares down, so 5 minutes can become 2 minutes very quickly. And, you know, while you're there and it's all going down, you know, it's slow motion for you on stage. You're just like, God damn, this is taking longer than I thought. You finally get off stage, you leave, you got to take another hour, you know, waiting for the train and getting back, and then you get in your car and you got to drive another 25 minutes back to your house. Yeah, no, I would quit. I would 100% quit.
Yeah, it's like 2:30 in the morning at that point. You gotta be at work by 5.
Yeah, I got to be at work at 5. No, that's also a big, you know, deterrent for me. But it's just getting out the door. Yeah. Well, because if I had work at like regular 9 to 5, I'd be getting off around the time the mics be starting, and I'd be just like, all right, just go from one job to the other, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then, be able to sleep in one go instead of having to break it into shifts like I do.
Yeah. I get it, man.
Yeah. But I see you here. You've got your INFJ profile picked up.
Yeah, I did it. I did it a couple months ago, and that's my percentages. When I first took it, I was pretty introverted and pretty judging, and the other two were kind of 50-50, and now things have drastically changed.
Yeah. For mine, the last time I took it, I was like 56% extroverted, so still pretty close to teetering on the edge. Mm-hmm. But everything, wham, wham, all the way to each end of each spectrum, except for maybe the assertive versus turbulent.
No, yeah.
That one is constantly changing, though. That's the one to change between everybody.
Yeah, that's the one that, like, I think you have the most power over for sure. That's the one just, like, if life's
are you going to be active or you're going to be passive?
Exactly. If life's going
that's
well...
That's always an internal choice.
Exactly. And that's kind of cool. That's fun to realize. But yeah, to have like 89% intuitive and like 86% feeling. I saw that. I was like, damn. I mean, that does that just mean I'm like out of tune with other things, or does that mean that I'm just super in tune with whatever's going on?
Right. No, it just means your brain's working different. Yeah, you're running on some different wavelengths.
Fumes.
Fumes.
Yeah. Man. So tell me about your weekend, Sammy B.
Well, all right. I guess I'm trying to think of stuff that happened between last Tuesday and today. Really on Thursday and Friday. That's what it was. Between those 2 days, I had two. Okay, I'm gonna rant here. It's gonna be a rant. All right,
give me some Sammy B ranting.
You want me to go off? I'm gonna go off. So
freestyle ranting.
So my phone last week, I was talking about how I have the insurance thing and I need to get it. So I try. I give it a shot. And what the fuck is up with insurance, my man? Like, okay, between insurance and credit, I'm gonna go off on them because I don't understand them, because with this insurance thing, it was pissing me the fuck off. We've been paying an insurance deductible per month for this phone, so that, if anything happens, because you know me, I fuck around with iPhones, I break them.
I get it.
And so, this is $1,000 phone. We got insurance because if I break this one real early on, we still gotta pay for it, we're fucked. So we've been paying this insurance, and I do this whole thing. I fill it out once, and I say, well, because I cracked my screen a long time ago, I didn't need to fix it for that, but I need to get it fixed because the headphone jack on the bottom has stopped holding cords in, and the speakers on the bottom don't work anymore. So I'm like, okay, I start filling the thing out, and then it's asking me what's wrong, and I'm like, is it damaged, like dropped or something? I'm like, no, it's like electrical thing. Fill out the whole thing, get all the way through, and it's like, good news, you're fully covered. And nothing to click on, nothing else. And I'm just, what the fuck? And they give you the, person you can, talk to, the 24-hour customer service, but you have to type it out to them, which that's so impersonal and annoying, especially because, if I can hear a voice on the end of the phone, I can judge whether or not to yell at them. Ha!
Yeah, right.
I mean, it is sexist, but I will not yell at a woman. Like, I've had many run-ins with the bank where I have to call in customer service, and I'm just, livid, about to go off, and then I just hear a sweet woman's voice, and I'm just like, hello.
Yeah.
Can I have my money, please? But this one, it's, like, so impersonal, so I'm livid, and I'm just like, hey, so I filled out this whole thing, and now it's saying it's not giving me anything. It's not fucking doing anything. It's not giving me anything. How do I get my new phone?
Yeah.
And the person's like, oh, so sorry for the confusion.
Was it typed? This was typed, right?
Yeah,
okay,
but they typed it out in that sort. Like, I couldn't read the way they were typing. Like, I'm sure it was just copy and paste responses, but I'm sure it was worded in a way to elicit a sort of, this is how they're saying. It's like, oh, I'm sorry for the confusion. It just means that the way you filled it out is that it's a factory problem or an Apple glitch, and we don't cover that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You said I'm fully covered, but if it's like a defect in the actual machine, then that's not what they're covering. Well, this isn't a defect in the fucking machine. It's like, I've had it for so long, and I've been wearing and tearing it so much that the cord doesn't stay in, and the speakers don't work. No. So what the fuck? So I have to go refill it out and tell them, Okay, it's a cracked screen. I'll just use the cracked screen thing. You know, the screen is cracked, and also all the shit on the bottom stopped working. And, you know, I get all the way through, and I have to put in a pin, a Verizon pin. We don't have a Verizon pin. This has never been a thing. I call my dad, and he's like, what the fuck are they talking about? I've never had to set up a pin. Right? And so they're coming up with new shit. You know, I have to log on and figure everything out. And, you know, it turned out I didn't even need to get on Verizon. They could just text me a code that's a temporary pin. Why not say that up front? Because I don't have a pin. So I have to do that. And I go through the rigmarole and bang, bang, and I get another hang up because, oh, yeah, well, no, I submit it. And it's just like, all right, we'll get back to you within 72 hours. But also, before you get done, you have to print out an affidavit, fill it out, take a picture of it, take a picture of your ID, and put it on the fucking internet and give it to them. And I'm just like, God damn it. Yeah. Oh, this is... And so they make me do it again. 3 times that I've had to fill this fucker out.
Yeah.
All right? And so I'm like, okay, it's done. I humored it. But I'm just so frustrated. Like, I'm just walking up and down my house just doing the same kind of rant. Like, fucking upset. I get through there, and then, like, not even a day later, it's like, all right, here's what you have to do to finish it. So I get on there to finish it up, and I'm going through, and then it says, you have to deactivate Find My iPhone. Because otherwise, if you send in this old iPhone and we get it with Find My iPhone on, you're going to incur heavy charges. I'm like, well, fuck, we wouldn't want that. Why would we want that?
Right.
You know, at this point, after all the frustration I've been through, why would I want that? So I'm trying to turn off Find My iPhone. I get on there, I log on to my iCloud, and it's like, there's an error with iCloud. Try again later. Over and over. Literally, I had to skip an entire fucking day. I could have had this on Saturday, but on Friday, no. iCloud just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. And it wasn't offering any reasons why. It was just like, nope. Yep. Bye.
It's an interesting path that we're going down just as, you know, customers and businesses where, like, this is what people want. You know, like, in theory, I want to be able to do this at home. I don't want to worry about this or that. But then you've literally laid out the path that so many people have to take to get any sort of issue fixed, and it stole a day. The whole idea of this is to save time.
Well, and unless for insurance purposes, because then it gets to be in the same kind of a vein as, like, you know, the terms and services of stuff. When it's like you have to agree to the terms and agreement or whatever, and they make those things specifically ridiculously long with the craziest legal jargon, you know, specifically so that you won't read it.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
And they can get away with fucking you over in such many ways. Like, that was a whole South Park episode where it was like, you know, iTunes terms and services came up and everybody said no to it except for Kyle, and he gets kidnapped by Steve Jobs, and literally him and a Japanese guy and a woman get sewn together like the human centipede.
Oh my God.
With an iPad on the Japanese guy's face and an iPhone on the girl's face.
Oh my God.
And somehow it works, but because they signed the agreement, they, you know, Apple was within their legal rights to do such a thing.
Right? It's
and
crazy.
it's like, that's the kind of shit that they're pulling with this insurance thing, making it so frustrated that they want me to quit. Well, I'm not fucking quitting.
Yeah.
Because they threw one final thing, wrench in the gear. When I finally get it back, and then I finally get the iCloud to turn off my, you know, Find My iPhone, and it's like, all right, last step. Give us a $200 deductible. No. We've been paying this whole fucking time. We don't owe you any fucking more. Give me my new fucking phone. So I'm going to march my ass down to Verizon this upcoming, well, I guess whenever we get back for the wedding, and fucking put some boots in asses. Literally, I don't have boots. I'm going to go buy some from Murdoch's.
There we go.
And some of those, you know, what are those chest spreaders that they use for open heart surgery?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then just, you know, you know what, you don't know where I'm going.
Hey, let me save you some cash. Use my boots. They're covered in piss too.
Oh, that's right. You don't wear those piss boots.
I don't wear the piss boots because I save the piss for infecting
Jack, but
people.
why did you keep the piss boots? Because if you donated them to good, I know, but if you like sold them, you don't have to tell somebody that they're pissed on.
But it's a great story, you know?
It is, but also you just have the boots now, and eventually you're going to get married, and your wife's going to be like, hey, what are these? And you'll be like, oh my God, put those down right now.
Yeah, you don't want to touch those.
And it's like, why? Oh, like, because there's pee on them.
Yeah.
Why do you have them?
It's like
because of the story.
It's like in Toy Story where it's there's a snake in my boot. There's piss on my boot.
Okay,
you know? Yeah.
okay. So you're Woody in this scenario.
Very much so.
Well, you better hope she's a big Toy Story fan, man.
That's good.
Otherwise, those piss boots are... They're coming to my closet.
And hey, man, think about it. What am I going to roll as a cowboy? Okay, I'm going to want cowboy boots.
Oh, you mean Rusty Erickson?
You never know. Yeah, exactly.
Whenever that rolls around.
Hey.
Whenever the rest of that script falls out of my head.
Once the extra, 150 people start listening to this podcast, then we can start getting that ball rolling.
Get a GoFundMe going.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah. Have a GoFundMe. Have a GoFundMe so I can, just... buy booze.
There we go. Just all the boots to kick all the asses. And that's the thing that makes me so mad. And you bring up a great point by going
all
to the
boots
store.
that would ever be worn. I need some new work boots.
Yeah,
start a GoFundMe. Boots fun.
Boots fun.
DMT boots fun.
Go boots me.
Go boots me.
But
so we could donate boots directly, not even cash.
Exactly. You don't need to pay any money. Just send us boots.
Jack, we're on to something.
I
new cryptocurrency. Boots.
We knew it the whole time, Fucking, but the thing that, like you're saying, going to the store, like it's not a knock on you or any customer. It's because we have limited opportunities to do this, and because we've come to understaff, or not even understaff, but underqualified people. You know what I mean? Like the people working the positions are so not used to dealing with human contact.
Yeah, they don't train them properly anymore. Like the more automated they make this shit, the less they have to train people. Like now they have not one but two self-checkout places at Target, which I wish they did when I worked there because my fuck. But now, there's nobody in line. There's like 2 lines open ever. And that's the second busiest Target in the goddamn state. And now they have 2 lines open and 2 people standing in those self-checkout things. Plus those in-your-face fucking cameras. I can't stand them, man.
They're getting everywhere, too.
Yeah. I was at a King Soopers in Aurora, and they had one. And that really upset me because King Soopers... I'm okay with self-checkout because with them, they have like 3 lines open and they're always packed with people with massive amounts of groceries. I'm only there to get a handful of items.
Yeah.
I don't believe in my soul that I should be doing these other people's jobs for them, but I don't want to wait.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to wait. I don't want to do any of those things. And I always love a great opportunity to make faces at security footage.
I always give them like the angriest faces, the meanest Sammy mugs.
I try to look at them.
Off.
I try and look more often than not. This is my go-to. I try to look at it like I don't understand it. Kind of like I'm a Neanderthal buying Trident gum.
Like the head turned sideways, slack jaw.
Like my jaw is so loose that it's tilted to the side, and I get a little. I start not
you poke at it.
Yeah.
You poke at it.
Start getting real chimpish. Just
whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's going to love that.
I've been starting to show it to more people.
I mean, like 75 more followers, more listeners, more plays just because of that one ballistic chimp scream.
I could get into it, man. It's something I've done for like years. Like ever since I started driving, I've been doing that alone in my car.
Because you've been chimp screaming
just
alone?
For fun, Why not? Yeah, or
because you're a human being.
We're primates, bro.
I know, but I mean, we are only separated by 16 chromosomes.
That's what I'm saying.
But also, you're not a chimp, man.
It's all about knowing how to manipulate your vocal cords. So when you get into it, I gotta start slow, right?
Jack, do not go full. Don't go full. Don't go full. Jack! It's so unpleasant.
Not if you love chimpanzees.
Not if you... Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to listen to these episodes. I have to listen to them for quality control, my dude.
I choose to. Okay.
Do you listen to our episodes?
Sometimes, if I liked how they went, yeah.
Okay. You listen to them the day of?
Did you listen to Anthony Jeselnik on the most recent JRVP?
Today's?
Did it seem like he got his nuts cut off? a little
A
bit.
little bit.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to make that very apparent. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it was him.
Well, and that's the thing is, he kept saying that if we were to tell people, they wouldn't get why people were mad at that.
Right.
And I'm like, I wouldn't, because last week's episode, when he was drunk, I was just kind of like, this is fun.
Yeah, I thought it was a good time.
I love a clip that Erica posted of him, where he's just like, what was it? Erica's wearing glasses into fat asses. Erica and Tim Posey looking large and in charge. She just goes, what?
Yeah.
And then you hear the camera guy in the background start laughing in his face.
Camera guy Stu.
That's the biggest reaction on camera guy Stu all season.
A big old recommendation from DMT. Go check out JRVP.
The Jesselnick Rosenthal January Take two.
Take two. Taking two.
The Jesselnick Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP. I still fucked it up. Junior Vice President. But yeah, no, we're a big fan of the Jess and the Rose.
Big fan. Very fun show. Listen to it for a quick listen. They're almost done with their first season, so just start binging them. Get ready. Mm-hmm. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else happened this week, my friend?
Well, we went and saw Dark Phoenix.
We did.
You saw the whole thing, but I had to leave for other circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone got sick. Mm-hmm. I had to go take care of them. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm like the key person to come to. I'm the key person. I am the best at knowing what too fucked up feels like, and I know how to handle that scandal. Mm-hmm. I was Johnny on the spot, as Wes called me. I killed it.
Johnny on the spot.
Yeah. And then, so you guys got to watch Dark Phoenix, and I had to go see it yesterday, so we could talk about it today. Mm-hmm. But what else happened this weekend? I don't know. I watched a few things. I watched Men in Black 3 for the first time.
Oh, with Josh
Brolin.
Josh Brolin plays Tommy Lee Jones.
We were pretty solid.
It's a good movie.
I dug it. I did a back-to-back feature hanging out with Tanner.
Nice.
We were watching Men in Black 2 and 3. I wish it was 1 and 3, because 2, it's got some okay parts, but
middle grounder. You know.
3 was a lot better. Josh Brolin had Tommy Lee Jones down.
Yes, he did.
And Jermaine Clement made a pretty good villain, even though he was super creepy with his spider appendages.
Yeah, it was weird.
He was made of legs.
Yeah, it was very strange.
It was very strange, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Nice. Getting ready for the new one with
which is getting slammed by reviews.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was really needed, and then they made it.
I was hoping that they would just enjoy the fun.
Yeah.
Because, that was the thing, is that even though Men in Black 2 ain't that great, it's still fun.
It's still a fun movie, yeah.
Yeah, so, I hope it's not just stupid. I hope there is the fun to it, but,
Again, there's just this weird trend in Hollywood to just revamp things that just never really needed to be revamped.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Ocean's 8. All of them. And I'm not just picking the sexist ones, because, I could even go as far as Magnificent Seven, which is a great film, honestly. I enjoyed it, but compared to the original one, it was just like Antoine Fuqua, and for some reason, Nick Pizzolatto from True Detective wrote that movie, which,
cool.
It was great, but you'd think that for the character development that he does in all 3 seasons of True Detective, easily even season 2, it'd be a little bit better. But it's like, in that movie, it was, Denzel was black, they had a Native American, they had a Mexican guy, they had an Asian guy, and then 3 white guys, and they all died. The 3 white guys and the Asian guys died. So it was, I said a Mexican guy, right? Yeah, no. And those 4 are still left, and I'm just like, you know what? This movie was great because it wasn't so in your face about diversity. It was just a great story, and this is who they happen to recruit. And then by the end, they kill all the white people, and I didn't even notice until the 3rd viewing. So if they can do that, for me, I'm sure they could have fooled, Bible beaten. Why would I say Bible beaten? But white supremacist fucking idiots. If they watched it once, they could be fooled for the 2nd viewing, and then they're just like, hey, wait a second. All damn other fellas is after colored people. Nah. No. But they don't have to reboot these things revamp style like that.
On a quick side note, I was just violently reminded that I had asparagus for lunch. Anyway.
Yeah, because you snuck away to pee, and I had to keep it rolling.
Yeah?
You know?
Well, I knew you had it with that story. You know?
Yeah. You always pick the opportune times to just have me ramble, and then immediately when you stand up, I'm like, fuck, what am I going to have to say for this next 30 seconds?
Hey, and you got it. You nailed it, my friend.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's unnecessary. It's foolish.
But
to
it's
make
like
these
Men
movies.
in Black 3 came out, so 2 came out in 2002, 3 came out in 2012 or 2013. Unnecessary, but it wasn't a fall flat on your face sequel like Anchorman 2 was.
Right.
After we waited so long. Super Troopers was another one that landed pretty well for a 12-year sequel.
But the nice thing about like Super Troopers, which is cool, like the thing that Men in Black 3 did I think that was interesting was to try to make it different. You know, take it back in time, throw in Josh Brolin, keep Will Smith. That's a good way to do it. Obviously,
and Tommy Lee Jones wasn't cut completely out of the movie.
It maintained the story they were telling. This one, suddenly, we have 2 completely new characters, 3 if you include Liam Neeson.
Emma Thompson is the only one returning from Men in Black 3 because she took over for Rip Torn.
Right. And you're just kind of like, well, why didn't you just try something different with this great cast? Just do something different.
They were originally going to do a crossover with Jump Street and Men in Black, and that honestly would have been, if Chris Lord and Phil Miller got on that,
would have been fun.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller, jeez. I got confused because of the Last Man on Earth. They named Will Forte's character Phil Miller as a combination of those 2 guys' names.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because they directed the pilot and produced the whole series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Phil Miller.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller. But if they got their hands on the Men in Black and Jump Street, that'd be pretty fucking tight.
Yeah.
I would have dug that.
I trust them. I do.
But if Phil Lord wasn't busy making Into the Spider-Verse, we would have missed out on that completely. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
God, one of my favorite movies of the
Right?
year.
It was really fucking good. I thought the animation was going to piss me off because you know me. I'm not a cartoon guy. I'm not a cartoon guy by any means. That movie got me.
Yeah, that movie slayed, dude.
It
That
really,
was great.
it was really, really well done. It earned the Oscar. I'm finally happy that a superhero movie won an Oscar besides, Heath Ledger's posthumous one.
Sunflower.
Except that was the worst part. Having Post Malone play the song all the way, the recurring song. If it was Hypnotized, it was Biggie Smalls Hypnotized, and he's just up there hanging upside down. He's like, Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And then his fingers come off. That would have been like infinite. The number one Spider-Man movie of all time. I mean, he was just singing Hypnotized. He's up there, but they've only played Hypnotized twice at the beginning, and then when he went to his uncle's.
Right. Which is a shit. It's cool that they played it twice. But,
I know.
Yeah, no.
Hypnotized of all songs. It's a Biggie Small song, and he gets real dirty in it.
They just threw it in there.
Right.
I loved that movie. I really did.
It was great.
I thought it was one of the best superhero movies.
What did you think
I've seen in
about
some
the alternate
years.
villains?
Okay, cool. Green Goblin was the shit.
Get the fuck out of my face with Post Malone, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Look at his face.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna look you right in the eyes and tell you to die.
Sam, people want to know what you think of this man.
People want to know why you just pull up pictures of people that in conversation I hate, because I keep forgetting that when you're looking at your phone after we've talked about somebody that I hate. It's happened many times with people like Nicolas Cage or Russell Brand or, any of these people. I'm taking your phone, actually, as these names come up. But you'll just pull up a picture, and then, as I'm talking, you just stick it in my face mid-sentence.
This is one of my favorite things to do.
This is the worst thing to do, Jag.
It's literally, anytime I get the opportunity to do it, I get a big smile.
You're an actual cunt.
Agreed.
That is the worst thing.
Oh my goodness. Was that the weekend?
That was pretty much the weekend, man. I mean, what'd you think about Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir? If we're speaking about Nicolas Cage,
he was the funniest part of the movie.
He was
by far. Him and John Mulaney were amazing.
They were the best. They were the best.
No, Nicolas Cage made me laugh audibly every time he talked.
He was great. I loved him.
He literally. I'm trying. What was the thing he says when they're all kind of? He's like. you're questioning the reality or something. What does he say? Fuck, it doesn't matter.
I forgot, but yeah, I know what you're talking. I know which ones you're talking about.
It's so funny because it comes out of nowhere.
He's just laying there on the couch with a Rubik's Cube. He's like, "So this is purple." Nope, not at all. I don't get this thing. He's trying to figure out color.
I don't get this thing.
I'm gonna take this weird cube thingy with me. I don't understand it, but I will. It was by far the best part. I did like what they did with the villains too, with Scorpion being like mostly robot.
Oh yeah.
What's her face being Doc Ock,
Oh,
Catherine
yeah.
Hahn, and yeah, it was a great film, man.
Yes, it was fun. I'll rewatch that here soon.
Yeah.
Because I gotta. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a couple months.
That
so.
movie would be dope to trip to, dude.
Yeah, it would be.
And like some of the most psychedelic visuals, especially at the end when they're doing the climax. That shit was wild.
It's such like a happy story.
It
too.
is.
Yeah, like that one you'll leave.
It's got bright colors, and you know me, I can't be in the dark. I don't know why everybody was so chill with just tripping in the dark. Fucking A, man.
You don't want to be in the dark.
No.
You don't want to do that.
No.
No.
And I blame Wes and Joey. Calling them out on blast.
Yeah.
Why you turn the lights off, man? Having one screen as a source of light is fucking dangerous.
One very intense screen. We did this thing, just speaking of light, we did a thing in improv, and I've done this several times before where you just like stare at someone in the eyes and you just make eye contact for a given period of time.
Yeah, after a while, their face dissolves.
That's exactly. So we did that. We did 5 minutes straight, and just like this, I was looking at this older gentleman, and I mean, so like the cool thing was after I left that, I was like, I just have this feeling that this guy has a lot of wisdom. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like a cool, surreal feeling, but it also felt like it was like you were tripping. It was like everything about their face melted away and dissolved, and it was crazy. But like part of it too, I think, was there were fluorescent lights. You know, we were in. It was a night class, and we were in like a fluorescent lit room. And, like, you could tell that was making it difficult to connect, you know? And I was like, I wonder if this exercise would be different outside. So
that'd be interesting, because whenever you're in a building that is harsh fluorescent lights all the time, it feels lifeless.
And that building
feels like
has
even
no windows.
all the life in it isn't life.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, well, it's like pain. Like, I noticed it was, like, painful at a certain point. Like, I wanted to keep looking at him, but, like, I would have to constantly bring myself back out of fear that I would just like lose my sight with my eyes open, because these lights were just so unnatural. Yeah, so bright and so strange. Yeah. The one thing that never disappeared though was his right eye.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where your eye leaned to focus?
Yeah.
Nice.
I the whole time I kept thinking, I was like, refocus. I'm like, what happens if you just don't, you know?
And you die?
Like, right. I mean, cool.
What if that happened? You were just in that exercise, and then the guy next to you with a different guy just dies. And you just
falls right into your lap.
And then you don't lose focus. You're just like, hey teacher,
help!
This guy fell on my lap. I don't know if he's dead or what. I'm just focused on this other guy's eyes.
And then they call it. You look down at this dead body in your lap and make direct eye contact.
And then you die.
Yeah, you're like, oh God!
And then it's a chain reaction.
I could see it happening. I felt like it a couple times there.
So what happened with you, my friendo?
What happened with me? Let's think. So going back, normal week, pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. Friday saw Dark Phoenix. And
saw the whole thing.
Saw the whole thing. Watched the whole movie. I went back to hot yoga on Friday. It's been about 5 weeks since I went to hot yoga, so I got spanked by Namaste. Man, I left.
I thought Namaste was so peaceful. Why would it spank you?
Because I have been slacking. And you know what? Here's the thing with hot yoga. You're in there the whole time. So one funny thing that happened, and this happened twice, was my buddy Brady, who does the bodybuilding shows and whatnot. We do it together. And when you're in hot yoga, it's so hot, so you just go in and like pretty much like a swimsuit. That's pretty much what I do. Right. And I would look to the mirror to my right, and I was in the far corner of the room because I like it hot. And I would look, literally, and I would look at the corner and see the mirror, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm getting like great shape. Like, I didn't realize I was looking this good lately. And then, like, I'd break and I'd be like, oh, it's fucking Brady. God damn it. And then I look at myself and I go, oh, no.
Yeah, no, it's like, if you put you, Cody, and Brady next to each other, you'd all look like brothers with, like, it would be, Cody's face is a little bit more, pressed in. Brady's face is a little bit like Cody's face with a little bit more spread out.
Right.
And then you got your face, which is just big boxier. And then
it's a big Easter Island head.
Yeah, you got a big Scandinavian head.
Yes.
And then it would go up in height, too. So it'd be like, if you guys were to, like, stand in that picture of the evolution of man, you guys would be the last three.
I could
fit
see
in
it
perfectly. You guys could do a photo shoot where it's just like the evolution of blonde buffed idiots. By the end of it, they could grow a proper beard.
That beard is relatively fierce lately. I'm very proud of it. And I do not plan on shaving it for the wedding.
I don't either.
Connor and Chelsea, love you. Can't wait. Not touching my face.
Jack, no, this beard is staying on.
Yeah.
I don't even know what kind of a tan line is going on, but also, I think for me personally, they didn't say anything, and I'm running with it.
They said
They want a comedy routine. Your boy has to have his beard, man.
you're getting a comedy routine. This wedding's gonna be in Gunnison, Colorado. If you don't have a beard, you didn't live up to the dress
Jack,
code.
do you want me to give you my opening joke?
Let's hear it.
So, or one of them. So, well, I got to give you a little preface that Chelsea was telling me this story that she got pulled over once because she was going 105 miles an hour over the speed limit in an active school zone.
What?
Because she was running late for a debate thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my joke is, me and Connor go way back. We have so much in common. We played football together. We're both, a couple of baldmen. And, I just love the kid. And then Chelsea and I, we also have a lot in common. I mean, like, we both were clocked going 105 miles an hour over the speed limit in a school zone. But, like, at least she had a good reason. She was late for a debate thing, and for me, that's just an average Tuesday. Just immediately start off with a joke about hurting kids.
Yeah, oh, man. If it's all about that first joke, man. You have to set a precedent because you know what's going to happen.
They didn't give me any boundaries except for no cursing. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to go at least one place. I'm not going to go to a rape joke. I'm not going to make sex stuff. No. I'm going to hurt kids.
Hurt kids all through the evening. It really is the one PG subject we could all laugh at.
I mean, Anthony Jeselnik did 15 minutes about dropping babies, and I can't get enough of it.
Dude, just keep talking about dropping babies. I mean, like anytime, like I want you to get like 4 or 5 toasts where you just ding, 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 and stand up and just go, to running over kids. And then we all go, ah!
Connor and Chelsea, I can't wait for you to have kids. I mean, I feel like the first one is going to be, it's going to be tough, but the second one, I feel like that's going to be the one who really takes it well when I drop him.
Oh my goodness.
Something ridiculous like that. I feel like the first one's going to get rough, by the second one, he's going to be used to it.
Yeah. He's going to be used to it.
It's just going to reverberate. Like, they're going to, it's an inevitability. I'm dropping the kid.
You're dropping the kid, for sure. I mean, if you don't drop the kid, then you really don't let him develop in life, he or she in life, as need be.
And I mean, the more like his father he'd be anyway.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Slam.
Okay.
Slam.
Connor Bessie, you hear that? Slams.
Oh, my gosh. No, nothing but love.
Nothing but love for
Plus,
for the
we're also
Bessies.
going to roast the shit out of him tomorrow for the bachelor party.
Oh, yeah. We got a bachelor party coming up. Very nervous about how much money I'm going to spend tomorrow night.
Really?
Dude, do you know what we're doing?
No.
Okay, I'm going to keep you in the dark then.
Don't.
It's supposed
Was
to
it
be
in
a
the
surprise.
text?
I don't remember, actually.
Because I was like napping and getting those texts and off and on.
Because I've been getting that, like a party
I just
text.
we're going to Breck Brew at 7.
Okay, good.
What's the whole plan, dude? I don't have a whole lot of money, man.
I don't want to spoil it for Connor.
Well, he's not going to listen to this.
All I'm
Okay,
saying-
we'll talk about it off mic.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, Yeehaw.
Oh, buddy!
No! Yeah, I'm nervous too.
Have you ever been?
No.
Like to any strip club?
No, I've never been to a strip club. I'm very excited to see how I react.
I hope Shotgun Willie's is a little bit cleaner.
Is
than the
cleaner?
One,
well, it is
cleaner
like,
than the one that I went to.
You mean like physically cleaner?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the one I went to,
I was gonna say it is a full nude establishment.
No, Jack. No. What I'm talking about is that they have the like Rocky Mountain Gentlemen's Club right behind Shotgun Willie's, and it's like the JV club.
Is
and
that
that's
the one you went to?
I went to solo?
I see. Solo.
Yes, I went by myself. Because Lizzie worked there. I knew her.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
She invited me,
this.
and I'm just like, well, I got nothing else to do. Let's see if I can get some material. And I got taken for $80. 2 lap dances, and which were pretty reasonably priced considering that I thought you'd have to be a baller shot caller.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to be a baller shot caller at Shotgun Willie's because that's where like Snoopaloop and like the Broncos hang out.
That's where anybody like most of the comedians that come to Comedy Works go to Shotgun Willie's.
Yeah.
Most of that's really.
And I can't believe we know the owner.
We know the owner's grandson.
Okay, but does that mean that I have to spend a lot of money? Like if I came in with $20 in singles, will I get harangued like I was harangued at the Gentlemen's Club because I was like, I'm out of money and I've already paid for these like the dancers that I was waiting for to get off stage. I'm like, I'm going to get a lap dance with you, and I don't have any more money to throw at you. And some girl came up to me and just like threw singles at her and just goes, just because you won't. And I'm like, you're like kind of recycling this money, lady.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm already paying her for something.
I'll take that. I'll say thank you.
Being poor and going to a strip club ain't great.
Yeah.
So your boy is just probably going to pregame a lot.
Yeah.
The point that it's not even going to matter.
Yeah, that makes me think of something crystally.
Here's how I describe it, because I don't know what Shotgun Willie's interior looked like, but I was walking around inside, and laser show, girls up on stripper poles, purple lights, neon lights everywhere, and I was just looking around. I was looking for someone specific, and I was looking around, and I felt like John Wick. Like John Wick or some like hitman guy in a movie where there's a scene he has to go into a strip club and he's looking for somebody specific while there's titties and dingling and pigs just hanging over tables just drunk and stuff.
Pigs?
Like just
I was
disgusting men.
Is this like one of those Brazilian restaurants where they cut the meat in front of you?
Yes, Jack. They have a cone of hot meat so they can serve you up some shawarma.
They have a cone of meat.
Yeah, except what they do is they take the shawarma and the pita bread and they make it look like a vagina.
I see.
Yeah.
Themed. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's real novelty.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. No. No, I'm talking about disgusting men.
Excuse me, can I have some of the clam bake?
Which it was
either
two extremes. Yes. There were two extremes of the guy who was in a strip club, which made me laugh. It was the dude who was just falling over, super excited about these titties. Then there was the guy
who never gets laid.
Yeah, sure. Or just the dude who's just like, hey, find something better to be interested in.
Yeah.
Find a better hobby.
Pick a more engaging one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it's only tits.
It's
only tits and butts.
Yeah, literally.
It's only tits and butts. That's it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But then there's the other guy who's trying to be cool and just stoned face, looking actually kind of angry that he's there. Because he doesn't want to seem like a creep, and I'm like, that makes you seem a little bit more infinitely creepy.
Yeah.
Because while they're, got their heels on your shoulders and ramming their butt in your face, and you're straight faced the whole time.
Yeah.
They're
just like, indeed.
They're just like, I know exactly where I'm going to bury this one.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've never really understood how to behave in a strip club.
No, it reminded me of a Pete Holmes joke for me personally when I was danced in front of was like, him doing just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, ever like that part where he's like, I can't remember what she did to him, but
she sticks her
ass in his face, and he just leans back and he just goes, fantastic! And it's like, well, yeah, because I was in that situation, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? I don't know. But that's also why I don't. if I were to go with guys, it would not be our friend group. This
Yeah.
one will be a one-off. I feel like everybody's going to get uncomfortable.
Oh, this is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I don't plan on being one to judge. I will be one of the people that makes this hilarious because of how uncomfortable I will
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I would have loved to have you there at the strip club when I went. That would have been nice. That would have been legit. Because we could have been clowning on the whole place.
Right. Yeah.
The thing that was funniest about the place was it was you're allowed to smoke indoors. So I was smoking at the time. I was just like, this is the best night of the best part of the whole night.
Yeah.
Is that I get to smoke and stay inside.
And stay inside.
Also, the valet, when I pulled up, the guy hops out all eager. He's just like, valet parking, awesome. And I'm like, okay, cool. He gets in the car, parks in the very first parking space. And I come out, and he recognized me, and I was out of money. I'm done tipping. He pulls it out of the first parking space, pulls up next to me, hands me my keys. I'm just like, cool, thanks, buddy. And I rolled away, and I could see the disappointment in his face. I'm like, yeah, but you also pulled out of the closest parking spot.
You literally did the easiest
You
thing
did the bare minimum. I could have done that.
You made this harder.
I actually would have planned on doing that. If I was pulling in and saw that spot, I would have pulled in there.
I was about to
but
say-
you made me stop and give you my keys and get out of my car.
I'm going to give you $10 for driving my car 10 feet.
It was the saddest little valet, too. It was like a 12-car parking lot.
Nice. What night of the week did you go?
I think like a Friday or Saturday.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the JV Shotgun Willie's. It was really not popping. It was a $10 cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe we should just go there.
I mean,
But
if you want to spend $7 for a Bud Light,
no, I don't want to.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if Shotgun Willie's is full new, there's no bar.
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause that's the law.
That is the law. That's. Oh shit. Well, we will find out in.
Did they
a
open a
little
smoking
over
gun
24
next to
hours.
it?
The pot shop? I think so. Yes, I do believe. Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see.
And then what else did
Is
I
Joey going to go with us?
I think so. Did he confirm?
I don't know. I think, he did. He said sounds good.
That'll be
That'll be fun. Just be like, Joey, what's your opinion on the female form? What's your opinion of the female form hanging upside down, naked, spinning on this pole? Mm-hmm. Do you wish they had dicks?
Yeah. It is interesting, and I'm not trying to stereotype here. It just kind of seems to be a consistent trend, and I haven't asked enough gay people like what they think of like vaginas and boobs to get a full analysis of this. But like most gay people, when I ask them, say it's gross. You know what I mean?
I feel like vaginas are gross. Tits they're indifferent.
Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, it's like nothing's gross. Like it's all part of the human body. You know,
That's where they came from.
Don't
forget where you came from.
It's just it's like I don't know. It's like some people think feet are gross. You know, whenever people think the body's gross, I just find it really funny because I'm like, and I guess I get like a gay person's not at all dealing with a vagina.
Specific instances, but not to overall write off feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you know what? I just hate noses. I can't look at people.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody's got a nose. Like everybody.
And also, everybody doesn't have an attractive nose. If you took the nose specifically and just removed it and looked at it aesthetically, it is one of the most hideous things.
Yeah.
Ears are another thing. I remember one time I was watching Mike Birbiglia's My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, and I saw his ears. I don't know. I think I was really, really just high, and it was just fucking with me because I could only focus on his ears, and I'm like, ears are disgusting. Ears are the worst part of the human body. But like you said, it's like everybody's got them.
Yeah, I forget about eyebrows and eyelashes all the time. Yeah, I forget.
And apparently, without them, it'd be very, very annoying to be out in the sunlight.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't seem like they're blocking much.
Just like weird, just patch of hair. But then what else did I do?
What else did you do?
I had a different improv team practice on Saturday. That went well. That was good times.
Like a different team, or
yeah, it's the original team I was playing with beforehand. Nutflix, indeed. Yes. Nutflix is going well, progressing. We did. Then I went back home.
Now let me ask you this: when you guys settled on the name Nutflix, were you thinking about it as like, oh, what nuts they are?
You're right.
Or bust a nut flicks, because that's exactly where my brain went.
It's always been bust a nut flicks for me.
Yeah, because you know it. You get it right.
Exactly.
But is that the justification that is just like, oh, these guys are some nuts?
Yeah, normally, yeah.
There are a bunch of nuts up there.
And for me, I'm like, these nuts. You know what I mean? And that's when I go on stage and
the spirit.
dominate.
That's the spirit.
That's exactly. It's it. And then Saturday, good friend of mine, his birthday was earlier in the week. We celebrated, played some fun games. Played this one game where you write a sentence, and you have I don't know, we had 8 people in the room, so you had 8 sheets of paper or little pieces of paper. And you write a sentence. So my first one was the bear loves the trees, and I was like,
because you're great at making those non sequiturs.
Exactly. And I was like, this could leave things open for so much. And then
because bears love trees,
they live in them. And so you pass it to the left, and then the next person draws what they think their interpretation of what you wrote. And then the next person has to write a sentence based on the drawing. And then the next person draws based on that. And you go, and then you get your little booklet back, right?
Okay.
And mine went from the bear was in love with the trees to 2 pit bulls fucking on a checkerboard.
Nice.
That is exactly what I wanted to happen.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it was
someone had a real imagination.
Exactly.
From trees to checkerboards.
With pit bulls just bang.
I mean, pit bulls from bears ain't that far.
No, and especially when you're doing little tiny drawings, it was great,
Right.
And then when I throw the word loves in, obviously everyone's going to think about sex. So at the end, worst case scenario, bears are just having sex at the end of this,
I mean, yeah, that's what they do. And I was listening to a podcast where apparently certain bears, because the mom is, once they have cubs, that's all they're focused on. That's all they give a shit about. And so they only want to protect the cubs. So male bears, the only thing they want to do is fuck.
Right.
So that's the only thing they care about. So these male bears go and hunt cubs down
to kill them.
So
that they can have more sex.
So that the moms aren't so distracted. They're not so distracted by all these fucking kids. Now they can go get to screwing,
Now I understand why you drive 125 through school zones. I get it now.
MILFs.
I understand. And then Sunday, just hung out. Spent a lot of time with my family on Sunday for Father's Day. Watched a movie called A Fish Called Wanda. Funny movie.
Yeah.
John
It is
Cleese.
a fun movie. I like that movie.
John
Kevin Kline and Jamie Lee Curtis.
John Cleese's Scream is my favorite thing ever.
Cleese's everything is fucking great, man.
I love him. He's the best.
Have you watched any old Monty Python, original sketch show Monty Python?
Not in a long time. Yeah,
It's on Netflix, all of it.
Is it cool?
All of it's on Netflix. I saw that, and I'm like,
it's game time.
that and Holy Grail, talk about early influences in my comedy.
Those are the OGs.
Oh my god!
Okay, no
Some of the
doubt.
funniest goddamn things are still on it.
My sister's been rampant quoting the Black Knight from Holy Grail.
Really?
Just lately, she's been on a tear. She loves to quote him.
That was probably the best, time lining up for me was Medieval Day and me being really into Monty Python and the Holy Grail because I was the Black Knight for Medieval Day. And my mom fucking killed it with the costume. Murdered that costume.
Murder.
If I could have detachable limbs with blood shooting out, it would have been perfect. So I could do all the quotes.
There we
it's
go.
just a flesh wound.
I remember... I'm going to put that down.
Yeah.
I remember...
I should show up on the playback and I just hear clackety, clackety, clack, 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 and spinning and stuff. And I'm just going to be like, God damn it, Jack.
Sorry, guys. This is a real podcast. And I have real fiddler's anxiety, but
I do too.
Yeah, I gotta touch things constantly.
Well, that's why I wear this bracelet because this buckle on this bracelet—that's just all I do when I have this nervous energy is unclip it and reclip it.
Reclip it. That's smart.
Because it's better than because it used to be the vibrate switch on my phone. I just wear the shit out of that. It would be whatever the power cord flap over the phone case was. Flip and close that. But this bracelet, I thought I was just stealing it, but turned out to be a godsend.
Yeah, no kidding. Really comes in handy. I chew on pens a lot. That's a bad habit. But
I chew on my tongue a lot. That's worse.
Yeah.
It's a lot of anxiety, man. There's so much anxiety that we have
everywhere,
man. It
man.
fucking drives me crazy.
It's people always ask me. They're like, how how do you get through a day? You know what I mean? And I say, based on a caffeine addiction and overwhelming anxiety. That's really
That's
just...
the thing is caffeine doesn't help with the anxiety.
Oh, no.
But if you stop, it makes it way worse.
Exactly. It's so weird. It's a terrible, terrible addiction I have right now. But,
could be worse.
Yeah. You reminded me of a story, though, based on Medieval Day. It's a short one. I remember that period of my life, I was really trying to play football with all the popular elementary school kids, and I was
that smeared the queer version of football they were playing out there.
Exactly, and I was daily, and I daily the last pick.
I think, wasn't that when we were in the swings?
Yeah, you guys were
trying. You were trying to get away from the swings. You and Wes, maybe, I think.
No, Wes was running this. I was really kind of on a solo venture.
Wes was the swing king.
Wes was the swing king for some time, and I was going on my own little personal journey, getting picked last, and slowly starting to hate myself more and more every day of it. But the thing I remember so vividly from that day, or from Medieval Day, was I was like Gimli. I was always Gimli. I always wanted to be Gimli because that was my second grade costume. He was my dude.
Yeah, Gimli is the shit.
And
that's like how I'm going to be Fat Thor as many times as I possibly can.
Exactly.
It's because the costume kills.
You just embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
was Harry Potter for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Kindergarten, first and second grade, Harry Potter, 3 years. Changed it up by being the Quidditch Harry Potter. No, if you have a costume that slaps, milk it.
Fucking milk it, dude. And the thing about it was it required snow boots, right?
Oh, yeah, so it was in the middle of spring when we did this shit.
It was like April, and then I went to play football in snow boots like a dork. That day, maybe that's the reason I got picked last, was because I was
showing up in snow boots.
I'm an idiot running, like literally it felt like I was running through mud. And I was like,
clomp. Well, that was the first time you tried playing with them?
It was either the first or the last. It was definitely one of the two. And it was such an awful experience. And I just remember my ankles hurting so bad after that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So that was a quick little tangent. Other than that, just watched Us again, showed some people Us.
Us is so good, dude.
It really is.
I need to buy it on digital, dude.
It's really one of my favorite movies of the past 5 years. I can't wait to talk
comes
about
out
it.
next Tuesday, don't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to get it because I have Get Out.
Yeah.
So.
There we go.
Yeah. But see, that's the only motivation, because we had that talk about buying on Vudu versus everything else. I'll buy the stuff on Vudu that I don't feel like I need to get on Blu-ray, and usually that's just sequels.
Right.
So I bought Captain Marvel this past week. I did that, and Instant Family.
Oh, nice,
bro!
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Instant Family, go watch that.
Okay.
That movie is a real heart warmer.
Get you?
Yeah, it gets you laughing, it gets you crying.
Nice.
Tom Segura is really funny in it.
Nice.
Watching his performance the second time around is actually pretty funny because he's definitely trying, but it's Tom.
It's Tom.
So he's like playing a good version of himself, just that asshole. But there are certain things where you just see him kind of overact and jerk his head a little bit. But it's just at the same time like, man, this is his first role.
Yeah,
this is like his first.
He's
big
always
deal.
been a stand-up. People don't understand the differences between.
He got cut out of an episode of Workaholics.
Did he?
Yeah, and I fucking saw he's credited on IMDb for it. I'm like, motherfucker, I have all of Workaholics. I've seen the whole series a million times. Where did I miss Tom Segura? I go back through, and he was cut out. Like he said it on the podcast, but literally. Do you remember that episode where it was like Adam was in the slump and they were trying to get on that double-decker bus booze cruise thing?
Yeah.
So it was that episode, and they're waiting in line to get on that bus, and Tom Segura is like pulling tickets. And I guess they had a scene with him, and he's dressed like a pirate and everything. They had him dressed like a pirate for like I don't know how many hours to cut him out.
That is why
rough.
I see now why Tom Segura wants Adam dead. I get it now.
I mean, I can see why they haven't been guests on YMH.
I can't wait for Adam's special.
It came out today. Oh no, yesterday.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Oh shit, I'm all
if you didn't
off.
have to leave at 4:30, I was going to suggest let's get baked and watch it.
Ah, fuck.
But it's okay.
You gotta work. But
yeah.
Speaking of work, let's talk about something that I don't think anybody put much work into.
Dark Phoenix. My dude.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, so okay, so for when we watched it initially the first time, because I was so in and out of the theater, you were watching it in real time. I feel like Carl was talking to you for most of the movie. Mm-hmm. I was talking to you when I was in the theater. Mm-hmm. But the thing that made me laugh every time I came back was I came back and I just got like 2 or 3 seconds of what was going on, leaned to you, and I'm like, so did this happen? And did I miss anything else? And you're like, yeah, that happened. Nothing else happened. It was like half the time, and I was just like, okay. So I'm just like, so were they up in space, and then Jean got the Phoenix Force, and now they're back on Earth? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's basically, yeah. So, all right. So let's get into it. Yeah. So, how about we start with just the X-Men history, man? Mm-hmm. A little bit of facts for peeps. The X-Men franchise was the first, real deal live-action superhero movie.
Yeah, superhero movie.
Hugh Jackman. Without including Superman and Batman. I'm talking about, 21st century CGI effects that actually look decent.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get that, and then you bring Hugh Jackman into the spotlight. Patrick Stewart is right off the bat with fucking... Star Trek, so he's still a little bit in the spotlight. And then you get Halle Berry, who's just starting to be badass. James Marsden, who's lesser known. And then Ian McKellen, who was just on the doorstep of being Gandalf, dog. He'd been Gandalf filming this whole movie.
Yep.
But nobody knew because they edited those movies. Those movies are so great.
Yeah.
But you get Ian McKellen as Magneto, and then... this smorgasbord, you get, what's her face? Anna Paquin as Rogue. And I don't know how to say her name. Is it Famke or Famke Janssen, who played Jean Grey?
I think it's Famke.
Yeah. But, so they do that movie. They do X2, which was better than the first one. Because I don't know when the last time you watched the old X-Men trilogy was.
It's been a little while, but I can remember most of it.
Yeah, the first one is just a very point A to point B plot.
Yes. Yeah.
It was just, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys, here's what the bad guys want to do, here's what the good guys do to stop them. It was very procedural. It was simple.
Yeah.
But also, that's kind of what they had to do
to
as the first major superhero movie.
That's what most comic books are.
Right.
It's just kind of a point A to point B.
Yeah.
Go have fun with the characters.
X2, they got a little bit more creative with Stryker and all that shit. And then X-Men 3, The Last Stand, was the biggest disaster. And that was the first X-Men movie I've ever seen.
Same.
I saw X-Men The Last Stand first of all of them. Did you? I'm trying to remember. Was it you who won it in a prize?
I think so.
Like a prize machine, and you were the first one to have an X-Men movie, and I was just like, "Ooh, let's check out the X-Men." And my mom got it from Netflix or Redbox or something, and that was the first one. And I'm like, I remember watching part of the first one in kindergarten and being like, "Cyclops is cool, Wolverine's cool," and then Cyclops dies immediately,
very quickly,
because at the end of X2, they're all trying to escape Stryker's base, and something blew up within the base that opened this dam that let this flood down that was going to destroy the X-Jet. So Jean Grey had to stay back and hold up, all the water while everybody went away, Doctor Strange style in the end game. And then it just crashed on her and killed her. So we assume. And, James Marsden as Cyclops is taking it super duper hard. He was in love.
Yeah, that's really the only dimension to James Marsden's take on Cyclops.
Yeah.
Was that he loved Jean and hated Wolverine.
The only dimension that Cyclops had in the film. Cyclops in Jean Grey, I'm only setting it up this way because these were the issues that I had with this movie, was Cyclops and Jean Grey are two of the OG X-Men, two of the strongest X-Men, and two with the most compelling relationship with each other in the comics, in the cartoon. But once they made the adaptation to movie, or adaptation, just watching how Bryan Singer directed James Marsden and Famke Janssen, it was just I didn't feel anything for them.
No.
Because you understood Wolverine right off the bat that he's a dude who doesn't know who he is and fighting's
like
all he knows.
Cyclops was like the douchey boyfriend
Yeah,
getting
he
in
was
the
the
way.
douchey
He was
boyfriend.
Roy to
Yeah,
Pam and Jim.
Exactly. But also, Pam and Jim didn't have any chemistry.
No.
Jim just loved Pam.
Yeah, exactly.
But Pam didn't have any chemistry with Roy either. That's a good way to set it up.
Yeah.
Like The Office, that triangle.
Right.
They made it a whole drama in the original trilogy that there was a love triangle between the three. And then fucking Wolverine, you automatically latch to right out the gate. And then he shows up and after being knocked out by Professor X and everything, he wakes up and sees Jean Grey for the first time, almost attacks her, but is just like, whoa, this chick's a beauty. And then tries to escape. And then, throughout the whole rest of the time, it's actually, comparatively to nowadays, very sexist, the way that all this goes. If you think about love triangles in all these older movies, it's very sexist today, because it's like two guys competing over a woman she's an item. It's so funny now.
Yeah, and she doesn't really. She picks
She's
whoever's
just
the main character.
oh, who's gonna be the guy?
Right.
Because she eventually during X1 or X2, she feels that draw to Logan and starts being flirty. They kiss eventually or something. But the whole time, Cyclops is like, yo, that's my girl.
Right.
That's my girl. You stay away from my girl. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Granted, probably if we'd watched them in the early 2000s when we were kids, probably have a better attachment to them.
Right.
But now, as things have passed, it's still the same way. Kind of the same way if you think about the Raimi Spider-Man, the first one with the competition with Peter and Harry for Mary Jane. It's just like, these chicks aren't items, guys.
It's just it's like the women in these movies are just vehicles for the men to do what they
to
need
fight.
to do. Yeah, it
To
sucks.
fight.
It sucks.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But so
It's
X-Men: The
boring.
Last Stand, they decided to start it off with, Jean Grey's not dead. She's still alive. She's got the Phoenix Force because she died.
Right.
And Simon Kinberg, the guy who wrote and directed Dark Phoenix, wrote that movie. Produced it too. Didn't direct it. Brett Ratner, our Hercules hero,
Oh, just
guy who directed Dwayne Johnson to superstardom in Hercules.
yeah.
I
know,
don't know
I'm
how
familiar.
much it was him or the writers who fucked up, but I know that since Simon Kinberg was attached, when I saw that he was going to do Dark Phoenix, I was really upset. So they kind of tackled Dark Phoenix and X-Men: The Last Stand, and she kills just about everybody. She kills Cyclops right off the bat. She blows up Professor X, and she manages to pretty much undo all of mutanity.
Yeah. Well, none of these
By
deaths.
and then that whole thing at the end with the prison she's ripping apart.
Yeah. None of these deaths really carried any weight for anybody.
Because they happen so quickly.
Yeah, it's like the one person who would have really cared about Cyclops dying was Jean.
Right.
Jean didn't give a fuck. She killed him.
Right.
Professor X, it was shocking and it was weird, but it just didn't, it felt so unnecessary.
Well, yeah, and it was like a repeat of the opening scene, which is Professor X and Magneto showing up at her house and just being like, "You're very special. Come be at the professor's."
You
X's
have to
home for
earn a
gifted
victory
youngsters.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have to earn a death like that. You have to earn killing Professor X. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she just blew him up, and then Magneto was sitting there like, "Whoa, chill out, come with me." So now she's on Magneto's side because
She
Magneto.
just killed his best friend.
I know, she blew him right up.
Yeah.
And the thing that pissed me off was, okay, well, he's now using her for the B plot of this story, which is to fight the humans who have a cure for the X gene to get rid of all mutant powers, which is led by Trask, who's not played by Peter Dinklage.
No.
It's played by Bill Duke, the big black guy from Predator,
Yeah.
who's shaving himself.
It's just so.
Which that was like the biggest, harshest recasting in the entire X-Men series.
Yeah.
But they have that whole deal going on, and then at the end of the movie, it comes to a climax. Fucking Mystique has lost her power, which she's been a very tertiary character. No, she's a B character. She's been like Magneto's lackey.
She gets
and
a
then
lot
she gets
done
shot.
for the villains.
Yeah, she gets shot with the cure. She loses her powers, and Magneto's like, peace. And then at the end, they're fighting. Magneto lifts up the Golden Gate Bridge. All the mutants are fighting at Alcatraz. And a few of them get shot with the cure. Beast gets shot with the cure. Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Yeah.
Fucking Magneto gets shot with it, so he loses his powers, which is a big deal because he's an Omega mutant, which he's like one of the most powerful mutants of all time, which they just didn't stress on enough in Dark Phoenix.
No.
They did it. They harped on it in Apocalypse, but not in Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, no.
So they have that whole deal, and then it gets to the end, and, you know, Jean Grey is Dark Phoenix. She's ripping apart Alcatraz. She's about to kill everybody. And Logan, because he's got the healing powers, he just keeps coming up to her, and she's just dematerializing him. He's healing, and she's ripping her apart, or him apart. And he gets up, and, you know, she's like, you would die for them, or you would die because of them, or you would die for them. And he just goes, no, not for them. For you. And he stabs her and kills her. And it's just like that. And then she haunts his dreams for the next couple movies.
Yeah.
And now they did X-Men Apocalypse, which after Days of Future Past, we had high hopes for.
Big hopes.
Big hopes. Because Days of Future Past, we were like, oh shit. They got Bryan Singer back in the game. First Class was dope, too. They got Bryan Singer back in the game. They tackled one of the biggest X-Men storylines. They did it well. They did it in a different adaptation, of course, where they made it actually better, where instead of Kitty Pryde getting sent back in time, it was Logan. So, you know, got a huge amount of Hugh Jackman in it.
Yeah.
And you get the old cast and the new cast colliding. That shit was bomb. It was
awesome.
It was one of the best superhero movies, period. And then they go to Apocalypse, and you're just like, all right, I'm excited to see what they do with this new cast.
Yeah.
And they fucking just muffed the kick. They were within 30 yards for the field goal, and they hit the left upright.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, the most gimme, because Apocalypse is one of the most notorious Marvel, not even X-Men villains. He has some of the coolest, most interesting powers that you could display very easily with visual effects now. And a very long-standing history with the X-Men. Like, he has 3 separate, like, one-shot story arcs devoted to him because he keeps fucking shit up. That's more than Ultron. That's more than Thanos.
Yeah.
You know? So, they fucking botched it with that.
Terribly.
All his sidekicks were terrible, with Archangel playing the fucking 4 Horsemen, of course.
Yeah.
And then he gets Magneto, Olivia Munn, and Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, that whole fucking plot was just, like, really convoluted. There weren't very many fights. It wasn't very personal. And I was kind of upset because it's like, well, Simon Kinberg wrote Days of Future Past, so maybe he wasn't the one to fuck up Last Stand.
Right.
So, but he also came back to write this one, and this one was kind of fucked up, but Bryan Singer directed it, so maybe it's not Bryan Singer.
Maybe we can pass the blame here.
Maybe we can pass the blame along, but he's produced. He's been such a great producer.
Yeah.
Simon Kinberg, if you go look him up on IMDb, he's got such a great production history. Granted, a good amount of fucked up ones, but he's a great producer.
Right.
Producing does not translate to directing.
No, it does not.
This is his first time directing a movie as Dark Phoenix. But he's had such a hard-on for all these X-Men movies for so fucking long.
Right.
For 13 years now, because that's when X3 came out, was 2006.
And just like a couple of them have done well. You know what I mean? Like
a couple of them since then, but he's produced like all of them.
And like a couple of those have done well enough to keep the train, the boat afloat. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. And everything went down with Disney. But also Simon Kinberg co-wrote and co-produced Fantastic Four 2015. Yeah, I can't believe you weren't there when we watched it.
I know.
Because, dude, that was literally, they released an unfinished product.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. I can't believe they should have been arrested. But then they couldn't push the movie date back for that because they had to retain the rights for Fantastic Four.
Right.
So they had to get it out when they got it out. Mm-hmm. But for these X-Men movies, they've been pushing them back. Dark Phoenix and New Mutants should have been out last year.
Yeah.
They've been pushing them. And I don't know why, but I was like looking, and I guess Simon Kinberg specifically said not to push it past the last year's holiday season because it's not a blockbuster. If you make it a summer movie, it's not going to do well.
Dark Phoenix?
Yeah. Because it's not a blockbuster, apocalyptic, world-ending kind of scenario like Apocalypse was.
Yeah.
And, once I read that, which was after the movie, I was just like, okay, once I know that, I can kind of get behind a lot of shit, but not enough. And there were so many reshoots.
Yeah.
An aggressive amount of reshoots. The entire third act was redone. However, unlike The Predator, it doesn't look bad.
No, that's one thing about this movie for sure.
But Fox has stepped on so many toes, and that's why they're fucking owned by Disney now.
That's why they're gone.
I don't know what this movie would have been like if they didn't do reshoots.
Yeah, I can't even. They just kind of need to stop while they're ahead. They're like Warner Bros., but at least Warner Bros. Has some like glimmer of hope to them. It's just like it's like the kid.
They're on rocky road right now, but they haven't fallen off the bike completely.
Yeah, they at least they really gave it a go. With Fox, they just keep trying to reinvent the wheel.
Well, they don't listen to the people that they're working with either. So like, I read something recently that Matthew Vaughn, who did X-Men First Class, he's doing the Kingsman series now. But when he was doing X-Men First Class, he had a bigger plan where there would be a second movie, and then the third one would have been Days of Future Past.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, and Fox wouldn't listen, so he walked away, and then they did this, which, I mean, Days of Future Past, still
solid.
Fucking solid championship movie. Apocalypse would have just such a low note, but I'm also like, if they ended it right here, it wouldn't be so bad. And then like this one came out, and they're wearing velour jumpsuits with those X logos on it, and they're just looking like fucking fools the whole time.
Here's my thing with this movie, because it's like you said before we started the podcast.
Before we recorded,
I didn't feel good nor bad about this movie. It just
happened.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I guess.
The thing that I consistently noticed is we've seen most of these actors play these characters for at least 2 movies now, if not 4, right?
Yeah.
I have never seen a more phoned-in performance by an ensemble in my life.
Oh
of
my
that
God,
level.
all of them.
They didn't give a fuck.
It was literally
you could tell violently. Yeah,
and I think it was purely because Simon Kinberg was a first-time director. I'm sure he went in and did like 2 takes. It was like, cool, that's good.
Yeah.
And they were just like, all right, if that's all we have to do, let's not put in a lot of effort.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if they're like, if that's the case, I think I have 2 theories. One is that where it's like just a lack of experience, which then makes me appreciate acting and directing even more, because it really does take quite a bit to get where you need to go. But my other theory is just like, all of these actors are like, this franchise is dead in the water. We're wasting time making these movies.
There were a lot of shots that I could tell were 80-yard. So many shots where it would be the back of somebody's head and they're saying something.
It's not them.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, no, that was recorded post.
Yep.
There were a lot of shots, like the way that the shot progression went with so many of these things was, it was like Simon Kinberg is very obviously a first-time director. And his director of photography that he hired obviously didn't want to help him.
No.
Because the director of photography could have picked a lot of better shots with a lot better lighting and a lot better, angles and everything. Like, there were so many bottom-up angles looking up at a character from underneath that were so unnecessary, especially because if you go to film school, basically first thing that they teach you, this is a shot that declares power for this character. And it's like, it would be in a part where it'd be like Magneto charging up to fight, and then he loses the immediate next shot. And it's just like, it was like Simon Kinberg was a 15-year-old kid who got the keys to the whole budget, cast, and crew that Fox had to offer for this, and he's just like, let's just fucking do it all.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, not enough.
Not enough. No. these movies have this terrible, terrible track record, and this is why I think like Logan and Days of Future Past work so well. Is the hero like Days of Future Past is cool because they're losing at the beginning, like they're
defeated.
They're defeated. Literally. But like every other scenario, every X-Men movie plays out this way. They're hanging out, they're doing their thing, something bad kind of happens.
There's a lot of hanging out.
Yeah.
Now that I think of X2 and then like even Apocalypse, the kids are just hanging out at the school.
Yeah, and like then like these, and so then like take for Apocalypse for example, almost levels Cairo and whatever, and then they save the day. They just always save the day. That's where X2 was cool. It ended with Jean dying and all that. Like, ooh, what's going to happen?
We lost somebody in this one.
Yeah.
Prices are paid.
And we cared. We cared because we saw through the main character's perspective that there's no main characters anymore.
No.
It's an ensemble, but at least like, with Lord of the Rings we have Frodo and Aragorn. With Star Wars we have Luke. With Marvel we have Tony and Cap, We at least have perspectives. With these Marvel movies, I have no perspective.
With X-Men,
or with X-Men,
Yeah, with X-Men, if you're going to go into it, the emotional center of gravity was Logan for a while. It should have been Professor X for this new series because it was very clear that they weren't going to keep having Hugh Jackman reprise Wolverine.
No.
So it should have been Professor X, and I fucking hated him this whole fucking movie.
Yeah, he was a real bag of shit.
Yeah, he was the biggest bag of shit.
He was the problem.
After watching, he was. Yeah. He was the catalytic problem. He went into Jean Grey's psychology when she was an 8-year-old girl and literally blocked out memories and stuff just so he could have her on the X-Men and teach her to control her power, but not show her everything, knowing full well the consequences that would happen.
Yeah, making your protagonist the dick. Like, no redeemable action about that.
And I mean, he did it in both Last Stand and this one. However, she didn't cause a car accident in Last Stand. He just repressed certain things. And he talked about it a little bit in Apocalypse when she was having that flare-up and about to burn her room down.
Right.
And she was the one to defeat Apocalypse with the Phoenix Force. Like, where the fuck did it come from there? It's like, oh, now we need it in space to be the thing that goes in her.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was in the original. She didn't become Phoenix till she got the Phoenix Force, but she was Phoenix in Apocalypse.
Right.
Like, these movies are all over the place, man.
Yeah, they're so messy. And they thought with Days of Future Past, they could just kind of like...
Well, they fixed the problem that was The Last Stand. Because that was the thing. Again. Yeah, they broke it again. How do you do that?
It's unbelievable.
Because that was the thing holding them back from making future X-Men installments, and that's why they had to go back to First Class. Because, well, it's a great property. We got to keep it going. But we killed all of them.
Yeah, literally.
Well, hey, there's actually a time story where they go back in time and they fix some shit. Ooh, we can fix all this shit, and then they fuck it right back up. And that's the thing too, is like it's totally fucked up with the time because the X-Men in the original first one seemed like they were all in their 30s. This one it was like 1975. Or 73 or something. No, it was 75 when she crashed her parents' car. So she was 8, right? So she was born in 67. And this is 92.
92, yeah.
So she would be 25, right?
Yeah.
And they're all still treated like teens. There was that one part where it's her and Cyclops like in this apartment. I'm like, wait, they're adults at this point.
Yeah.
And they're all being treated like teens. They're all hanging out like teens. These are like the X-Men right now. And it's not, it's just fucking stupid.
Oh, it's terrible.
How they, perceived everything.
Hi, Cody.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, no, it's they just keep trying to retell
But this one was so flat.
Yeah.
Like, there was no heart in the parts that were supposed to have heart. There was no levity to any of the drama that they had to it. It was just so stupid.
Yeah, I felt like Jennifer Lawrence was so happy.
She was so happy that she died.
Yeah, that was
oh my god,
the most emotion I saw.
And that was the thing movie. In the trailers. Everybody knew that Mystique died.
Yeah,
she gets blown back, and you're like, yeah, that's where they kill her.
Yeah, that's where Mystique.
And then she does that whole thing where she reveals to Beast, "I love you.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, and you were just like, where was this the past 3 movies? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You're just gonna, like, it was kind of like what we were comparing it to with Black Widow and Hulk.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary.
You didn't. That was the thing that I feel like Kevin Feige really made a point to do, aside from Pepper and Tony. But even for Civil War, give a little bit of a step back to it, was get rid of the romantic shit.
Yeah.
It's not about the romantic shit. So, like, Peggy and Cap, he's not able to until he goes back in time. That's great. That's a great way to handle that.
Yeah.
Tony and Pepper's been around the whole time. Let's have her take a break for Civil War.
Yeah.
Fucking Thor and Natalie Portman, Jane. They were just like, let's take a break. Like, we don't really need her for the third one.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just say they broke up. People break up.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. And then, the Nat and Banner stuff, that was fixed by the third Thor, too, by having him be off-world.
Yeah,
so he was gone between that and Endgame.
It's a cool thing that we're getting away from in Hollywood, where
everything has to be a romance story. Everything has to be like traditional. Nothing has to be traditional.
Like if you're watching a romance, like I showed Cody and his girlfriend Sabrina Star is Born last night. That's a movie with a lot of romance, and that's cool.
Too much, enough that it drained me.
Yeah, they are in love.
Through me.
Yeah.
So I thought someone was going to be a bigger piece of shit. Nope.
They just...
And then he killed himself, and I'm like, oh, he is the bigger piece of shit.
The ultimate, actually. But, like, that's cool. But, like, in a superhero movie where it's like the tagline is, will the X-Men, and X-Men are hard because there's just too many characters. You just, like, Logan worked so well because it was one character, and it was supported by Professor X and all that.
And his love is dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So pretty much all he has left is Professor X, because that was his father.
Okay, and speaking to that, like, at least he's a real character in that. That's where, like, X-Men Origins Wolverine and the Wolverine kind of suck.
He was just like a fucking caricature.
You could tell
jumping around, slashing at shit because that's what he could do.
You could tell Hugh Jackman's like, give me more. I'm doing as much as I can with this guy.
And I'm sure, well, I don't think James Mangold wrote the Wolverine, but he co-wrote Logan.
Yeah.
And when I saw James Mangold attached, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like worried because how the Wolverine worked out, but also Fox fucks with these movies so much.
Yeah.
And the thing that they should have learned was not fucking with Deadpool is the way to do it. Not fucking with Wolverine is the way to do it.
Don't fuck with any of them.
Now they're owned by Disney.
Exactly. Who don't fuck with their characters?
No, they let the creators create and be... create the best art they can.
Yeah.
Because the best art is the most marketable art.
Exactly.
It's not the other way around.
Yeah, it's just frustrating to see, like, a story. Like, and that was the thing with Dark Phoenix. There were plenty of moments where I was like, this could have been really cool.
This could have been really cool. There were a lot of special effects moments where I was like, that was pretty sweet. Like, when...
God, if the actors just acted a little better, I probably would have been in it more.
And Evan Peters, when they're first fighting her outside of her house, and she manages to be faster than him and sweep him off his feet, that was actually really kind of cool to see him tumbling and actually see, have an injury at that speed, because he's not invincible. He can just go really fast.
Exactly.
But if he gets the legs kicked out from under him at that speed, that fucks a person up.
Exactly.
So that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool thing.
The fighting was cool. The fighting was really cool.
It was.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, that I said in the theater was Hans Zimmer's score.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty
very good. It had some pretty cool feel to it.
I thought he swore off superhero movies.
Apparently, Simon Kinberg talked him back into it, according to the trivia, man.
Nice, cool.
And it's just like, well, this has got to be the last one.
Yeah.
Way to end on a low note there, Hansi boy.
Yeah, he wasn't
but
on
also,
a particular high note.
Actually, no, his last one was Batman vs. Superman, which we could do a whole... like, medical school dissertation on that fucking movie.
That just...
Anyway, back to Dark Phoenix, so we don't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It just... like you said, it just happened to us. And the thing that drove me crazy is that I was reading all this trivia that there wasn't a lot of action set pieces, that he wanted to spend a lot of time trying to develop these characters, reach this emotional impact. None of the scenes ever did that.
No.
None of them. Absolutely none of them.
No.
Any of the impactful emotional scenes that he was working on, nothing happened. I was so flaccid the whole movie.
Yeah.
That's the best way. I was so flaccid. Nothing got me jazzed. Nothing got me like, oh. It was just like,
things just kind of kept
nothing's
happening.
going on down there.
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to this movie, but I'll be friendly to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a dick.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be friends either.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to make an enemy.
This movie, it don't suck, but it's not great. You know,
it's like,
I'll go on one date with it. You know?
Yeah. I don't know, and just be like, you know what, I think we make better friends.
Yeah.
And then not call them back again.
Ghost them. I'm going to ghost this movie.
100%.
After
the
this.
thing that I love that they did was that the title is just Dark Phoenix instead of X-Men Dark Phoenix, because people like you or I could just delete this.
Yeah.
Delete this from the whole canon.
It's gone. Yeah. Like, and saying that, if that's the story you want to tell, then tell Jean Grey's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least tell it in an impactful way instead of her being like, okay, she caused this accident. Okay, she's adopted by Professor X. Apocalypse already happened, but she didn't develop very much. None of the X-Men developed very much in Apocalypse. They were just kind of tertiary kids.
Yeah.
The only scene that they had that was kind of cool was that part where they were back in Stryker's base and they broke Wolverine out. But even then, it was just kids being kids. Kids trying to survive. It was like some Harry Potter shit. And this one, when I did the math, I'm like, these are supposed to be adults. And seeing how childish they were acting, like, Cyclops was really pissing me off the whole time.
Yeah.
You said you'd come back to me.
Oh, my God.
You said you'd always come back to me.
He had so many lines like that.
Oh, it was just after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't know why anybody has any attachment to fucking Cyclops or Jean Grey after how they were portrayed in the original X-Men trilogy and this trilogy. They weren't in Days of Future Past.
No.
Like, if they had been, it might have been a different movie completely. We might actually like them. But they're supposed to be like the leaders, like the main X-Men, and I don't feel any emotional attachment to them.
Yeah.
That was a big problem that I had with the original trilogy. I'm just like, we're supposed to root for Cyclops? He's supposed to be like the guy?
Yeah.
And then I thought they were going to fix that with this one, and it's like, no, I don't like him. I don't like Jean Grey.
Yeah, they're not.
They didn't develop them to be sympathetic characters for heroes. Like, I have more sympathy for Thanos and Kingpin than I do for them.
Yeah, it's because they don't change at all. Like,
Nobody grows.
Even Jean's whole arc, I mean, she just never chooses for herself, you know? And when she does, it's because of
it's always
thing.
A motivation.
Yeah.
And then otherwise it's because of the Phoenix Force.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's like either that or like things happen to her.
Yeah.
And she just...
The only thing she did really for herself was break her dad's glass.
Yeah.
She didn't kill him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
And so they do all that shit, and then we didn't even get into Jessica Chastain and the aliens, which were supposed to be Skrulls.
Oh,
the
geez.
aliens were supposed to be Skrulls because Fox owned the rights.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what they were supposed to be.
That's why they were all shapeshifters.
Yeah, that arc just...
The arc with the aliens was so stupid. They're like, the Phoenix Force destroyed our home planet. We just want to harness it. And then there were 4 initially, and then there were 35, 40 of them on the train when they were all attacking the train, which the whole train sequence didn't happen originally.
Really?
They had to go back and reshoot that and rewrite that. And like they did the whole deal where Jessica Chastain was like a normal person, then she gets killed, and then the alien takes her over, and they're all investigating. They all know about mutants. They all know how to speak English, and they interrogated Jean Grey's dad and stuff like that. And you don't give a fuck about them. They're supposed to be the villains. You don't give a fuck.
It doesn't happen until like a third of the way through the movie. Do they pop into it?
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, I guess there's aliens in this bitch.
That's literally like I haven't had a point in a movie like that where I've gone like, I guess this is happening.
I guess
in a while, and
so now they have aliens, and then she tries to meet Jean Grey and influence her, and just be like, oh, you can be like our, gun to shoot the bullets inside you, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, like she didn't say that, but she might as well have,
right?
With how fucking lame they set it up. And then she's like, "Oh, all these X-Men are trying to, manipulate you." like basic manipulator
Yeah.
kind of shit to say. And then starts to drain all the power from Jean in that one scene, and then like the X-Men show up. She almost kills Magneto because Magneto and Beast make a friendship.
Right.
And, dude, it was just like all this movie. I can't even remember, but also I do remember.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's a very convoluted, fucking bloated, but also not enough.
Yeah.
So then they figure out, oh, the alien's bad. And then the guys show up with the mutant dampening collars, and they throw them in a train. And then the aliens start attacking. And dude, like,
oh man,
like I'm trying to recap it because it's just like what you gotta do if you're gonna do this kind of thing. But it's just like the recap is exhausting because I was falling asleep watching this movie. I was just laying there, just like,
yeah,
nodding, just like, oh my god, how are they going to salvage this?
Yeah.
And then they like ended up killing most of the aliens, and all the X-Men are free. None of them else die.
Oh yeah, and then Jean dies.
Yeah, well, Jean and Jessica Chastain were like in a, no contest kind of button heads kind of thing because Jessica Chastain absorbed enough of the Phoenix Force that they could contest.
Right.
And she's like, well, if you suck out all my power, you're going to explode and kill all them, and vice versa. And so Jean decides to just fly her up into the atmosphere and blow up
Yep.
into Phoenix fireworks.
Yep.
And then the movie has the quickest denouement I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They go and they rename the Charles Xavier School to be the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters. Beast is headmaster. And then bam, cut to France. Charles is just sitting there retired, and he starts playing chess with Magneto. That's the end of the movie, man.
The end of the X-Men franchise. That's the end
yeah,
of
well, actually,
this.
no. New Mutants is still coming out.
But
and
this one,
Deadpool. But as far as X-Men movies,
Yeah.
this is the last one.
This group of people will never see it another.
They
X-Men
left it
movie.
in such a way that they were like planning on like, we're going to do Dark Phoenix Part 2 and
Yeah.
bring Jean back.
No,
No.
you don't get that
This
chance.
is the worst goddamn movie of the franchise, but also, as far as bad movies go, it wasn't as much of a letdown as Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Fantastic Four 2015 or...
Yeah. It wasn't like. It wasn't like so clearly like a mess. It wasn't a mess. That was the thing.
Which is kind of funny because I feel like that is more credit to Simon Kinberg's producing skills. Because it wasn't a mess. Because if you get a crazy producer, that whole thing could turn out to be a fuck show.
A disaster.
Oh my God.
I think this is very similar to when Clemson went to eat at the White House and got McDonald's. You know, you're gonna eat it. You're not gonna complain. You're not gonna be like, "Oh, this is McDonald's."
You're just like, it's food, but I don't want to be with Trump, so I'm just
Yeah.
going to eat it, shut the fuck up, and get the fuck out of here.
like
That's basically that. It's
Yeah.
just like X-Men is, at this point, well, no, Simon Kinberg is Trump serving us X-Men Dark Phoenix, and we don't want to really hang out with him, but we're just going to eat it and then get
Yeah.
out of here. And
Like,
then we're just never going to come back.
There's some like tasty good feels for a minute when you eat McDonald's. That's what happened with Dark
And,
Phoenix. There's some cool stuff.
Fuck, Kevin Feige said they had 20 more Marvel movies planned before they even got the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four. So,
Yeah.
honestly, it's going to be a dead franchise for a hot minute because they got plans for everything else.
Yeah. The X-Men will come in like 2040 again.
Yeah, so they're going to do Deadpool 3 and then an X-Force movie. And Disney, because they recognize how great of a property Deadpool is, they're not going to fuck with Deadpool.
They're not gonna touch it,
They're
yeah.
not going to touch it.
Yeah.
So we'll keep on taking Deadpool, have him crack jokes about all the shit that happened.
Yeah. Exactly. There we
You know,
go.
Deadpool is the sanity through the X-Men franchise.
Literally, the
Logan
one
was the
consistent-
heart, Deadpool was the brain, and the rest of it is just like diarrhea.
Yes. Gastrointestinal disturbances.
Like, I don't know what it is missing about all of them as a franchise. I think it's what you said, where there's no main character.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you can do teams and ensembles and stuff like that. You just have to establish all of the characters individually pre-team. That's why the
First Class got
MCU.
close,
Yeah, First Class did
I think
get
they,
close.
I think they went
because
too big with Apocalypse. I think Apocalypse was too big for
They
where they
did.
were at. They
Well,
just did.
it was-
They went this whole like nuclear apocalypse with Days of Future Past, and they're like, let's just do that again. You know?
let's do that, except with literal nukes.
Yeah.
And also, let's like throw the kids in.
Yeah. It's just
And I guess Olivia Munn was supposed to come back in this one. Never did.
Yeah, no.
Too busy making The Predator.
Yeah. Fox is saint. I don't know.
Fox is so goddamn trash. I'm glad Disney bought him, but I really hope there's a way that I can make my Aliens versus Predator movie.
There we go.
We'll see how they do with the next X-Men franchise.
Yeah, fingers
I'm
crossed.
actually more looking forward to see what the MCU does with Fantastic Four, because I've never wanted to fuck with Fantastic Four.
No.
I never saw the old ones with Chris Evans or Jessica Alba. I've never seen the sequel. I watched the 2015 one, but that one was so fucking... That was an hour and a half, Jack.
There's never been...
It was an unfinished product.
Yeah. There's never been a movie or a franchise of like comic book characters that I've been so unexcited to see simply because all the movies have been so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no. That would be like not wanting to see Batman because all 4 of the original ones were Batman and Robin level bad. It's like, I don't want to fuck with that. I get it. I get Christopher Nolan's the shit. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to try and take a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to take a chance.
Can't take chances
I was
anymore.
hurt 4 times in a row.
Yeah, right.
But the one thing that I saw that was kind of interesting was, what if they cast John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and Emily Blunt as Invisible Woman?
I'm with it.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I'd see that movie in a heartbeat.
I would.
Not even a question. Get
Right.
The Rock in as the Thing. There we go. Yeah, let him literally get it because
Hey,
he's
no, get Jack Black in as the Thing.
Oh my god,
Jack.
yeah.
He's been revitalized by the Jumanji franchise. They're making a sequel to the Jumanji.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
true.
to the Jungle. Jack Black's career has been revitalized. I'd love to see him just go, yeah, it's clobbering time! That would be the best.
Yeah, and then let's get John Leguizamo.
But,
as,
I feel like going
Human
into this
Torch.
movie, John Leguizamo honestly would be okay if you could pass him as siblings to Emily Blunt.
like how Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, no, I think John Leguizamo is a little bit too old.
I know. I don't know why I thought of him, but
That's a great name to say.
yeah, he's
John
one of my
Leguizamo.
favorites. John Leguizamo. Him or Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt is creator, head writer, producer, and star of a Marvel cartoon show about MODOK.
Oh, jeez.
He's playing MODOK.
Is it out?
No, they're
Okay.
making it. They're developing it.
Well, Patton's involved.
But Patton's going to be MODOK.
Yeah, I love Patton Oswalt.
I know,
so,
but
yeah.
also, how much story and narrative and character connectivity can you get out of MODOK? He is literally a machine, or no, mental organism designed only for killing. That's what it is.
Designed only for killing.
That's what the acronym MODOK stands for.
Sam, do you think MODOK has the coolest design of any character ever?
I mean, if I were a head with legs and arms sticking out of it, that would be the most efficient body. Mm-hmm. It would be.
I can see it.
Yeah.
You should play MODOK. I'm starting it now. Go boot me for Sam to play
Go
MODOK.
boot you? Okay.
Yeah.
Bringing it all back, baby. That's why we're magic.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
And you know what else we do? We wrap up the show when we're done talking
true.
about this movie. And I feel like this one, honestly, as far as movie reviews go, was the worst one because we
just didn't have any opinions.
This movie, okay, Godzilla, fun.
Yeah. It was a fun
This
one.
movie, so it was bad, but it was fun.
It was fun,
and it had
yeah.
a lot to talk about.
Yes.
This one, bad, not fun, not a lot to talk about. That's why it's the worst one of the X-Men movies. We could do a whole episode about X-Men Origins or the Wolverine, or even Apocalypse. We could
Last
do
Stand.
We could do a whole thing about all those other ones because there was stuff that we could grab onto. This one, it just really didn't.
This
and the
one,
stuff
yeah.
we did grab onto, it was like you just grabbed onto a little bit of vapor. Like it's nothing.
We were just steaming rice the whole movie.
And Professor X was the worst part of the fucking movie, man. Like that part with him and Beast in the kitchen, and he's just like, "Can you just admit that you were wrong?" And he wouldn't. I'm just like, "Fuck Professor X,
Yeah.
man! Like, what?
you
He's
think
supposed to be the best of them."
Do you think James McAvoy hated doing this movie?
Probably. I feel like they all did in a way, but they were
Yeah.
just also like,
Oh.
"You know what? I got kids and I got a mortgage. I don't give a shit."
Money.
You know what? I don't give a shit. It made its money back worldwide.
Did it? Yeah, of course.
Opening weekend in America, $38 million for a $240 million movie. Pal. Yikes! weeks.
Yeah, this is bad.
But I'm glad we saw it. But
Yeah,
I wish it was as fun as Godzilla.
I didn't hate it. You know,
I didn't hate it, but also, I didn't like it.
no. These are both hard facts right there.
These are just facts.
These are just facts. These are just words.
These are just words.
Oh my god.
But anyway, yeah, I think that's it for us this week. We're gonna be totally storied up for next week, though.
Yes,
That's for
we
dang
are.
sure.
Yeah, we got a wedding coming
Bachelor
up this
party.
week.
We got a wedding.
Mhm.
We got Sunday and Monday, and then we'll be back.
Oh shit.
No. See you next week, everybody.